friends, welcome to my channel English Elevation by Ujasvi. I am Ujasvi and today I will be telling you some simple methods to learn English. Now I believe that there are many methods to learn English, but today I will be discussing some of them that helped me a lot. So without further ado, let's start. So the first method is listening to movies. Now listening to movies doesn't mean just listen to any movie. I'm talking about English movies. Listening to English movies with captions on will help you so much. I cannot fathom the possibilities of this because it's been a really long time since I've been learning English, and because of this method I've improved so much. Because this way not only can you actually see what the person is saying, you can understand what they are saying, what kind of grammar they're using, what kind of structural verbs and stuff like that they're using, which really helps your English too. Because when you use captions, you can clearly see, and also when you are listening to something constantly, you will understand and start filling your brain with it. So that is tip number 1. So then tip number 2 is participating in discussions with friends or online friends. The reason why this is a very crucial part of our English journey is because without actually communicating to people with our language, then we won't learn anything. Because a lot of the time when we communicate with people, we're able to learn more things and give our knowledge to many other people too. Not only this, it allows us to actually communicate and use this language, as the language of English is a global language, but if we don't use it, then what's the point? Third point is using language learning apps. There are so many language learning apps right now, like Duolingo and so many more. But if you go onto one of these and start learning English from there, you will be able to get feedback on your English and pretty much every other language, but here we're talking about English. So you can go onto these apps and register yourself as an English user, and you can learn so many new words. It's insane because now you have like some sort of trainer in a way that will actually help you learn instead of just like doing something else. Like doing all of the other methods is also good, but using some sort of trainer for you also is an amazing method to learn English, because now you get live feedback and many other things and many other benefits too while learning English. The next tip is make some sort of journal or some sort of booklet where you write new words from the dictionary every day. Let's say maybe 1 word or 2 words. This way you will be able to enhance your vocabulary even in just 1 week, and that's a very small time. Even for us, it's a very small time because most of the time we don't really progress that much when we learn any language, especially English, as it is not our native language. But if we use this method, we are able to learn so many other words that we probably wouldn't have even heard of before. Like one of the examples is, let's say, disintegrate. Now you probably don't know what this word means, but if you started doing this habit, you may know what this word means. This word named disintegrate means something that starts vanishing suddenly. For example, let's say you have something with you, and then it suddenly starts disappearing. That is what disintegrating means. This tip is my personal favorite, because in this tip, basically what you have to do is start on a new week, new day, like a Monday or maybe a new month. But this time, let's say you're starting in January, because January is the next month coming and December is ending soon, so you can start in January. And basically what you have to do, every week you basically record yourself talking to the camera, just like how I'm doing right now. Just go onto your camera app and then start recording yourself. Look up some small prompts of conversations, and don't just conversate with others, also conversate with yourself. Put up a camera and start talking there for at least 5 minutes or 10. This way, and then evaluate your speaking skills every week. This is a very good method, because this way you are able to find and spot out your own mistakes and are able to completely disintegrate these. And this way you are able to perfect your English, as now you can actually see your imperfections. This way it makes it so much easier to actually understand what is not going good in whatever you're speaking. Next tip is very easy and is probably applicable for most of us. It is making an environment where everyone speaks in English. Well, not everyone, but mostly speaks in English. Like most of the time, we're sitting in our houses and talking to our family in Hindi because that's a native language, or maybe other languages if that's your native. But if we start making a background and an environment where everyone else speaks in English to us, then we will also be able to speak in English with them. This way, it creates a mutual conversating bond where you can easily just talk to people without having to go to lengths of finding others to talk to. Also, this way you can find family and friends that are actually better than you and able to improve your English while you give your tips to improve their English. This is a very mutual way of learning English, as not only does it help learn English for you, no. Not only does it help to learn English yourself, it also helps others to learn English with you. Because now you're mutually, both of you are conversating in real life, and this way you're able to understand more, especially because most of the time you don't really find new words or small tricks and tips on YouTube, because most of the time people don't like to tell these things, or they just don't really know about these things. But if you have some close family or friends that do have these tips and tricks, you can learn from them and share your own. This way you can trade up your recommendations and you're able to learn English, both of you. Use active recalls. This trick is very good for everyone because this way you're able to easily recall all of those informations that you learn from the internet. For example, most of us these days, we just look up some English words and stuff like that, and then we learn from them and then forget about them completely. This is wrong because you're just wasting your time and energy on something that you will not learn. So instead, make flashcards or make notes of these in real life or maybe digitally. You can do any possible thing to recall this, but I recommend doing notes or flashcards as it's easy to bring around everywhere and you're able to quickly revise them. The reason why you want to use these is because a lot of the time when we're learning a language, we forget about some key principles that you need all of the time. Like for example, present perfect tense. If I don't know the principle of it, then how will I make a present perfect sentence? Like I know the principle of it that I need to add this with this and this and this, but if I don't know that, I'm going to make a wrong sentence. But if I have a few flashcards summarizing the topic for me, then I will quickly look at them and make a couple of sentences with them easily. Also, because flashcards aren't just there just so that you can revise them and then keep them in your head forever. No, you actually need to use those, and that way you don't need to memorize English. You need to learn English and use it in your own way. Because language is a way that you don't memorize things, you have to do things. So the same thing goes for this tip. Take online classes or sessions. This sounds a little bit problematic, but I swear it is a great place because you can just go onto any website and find simple and easy online courses that you can use in your daily life. These courses are generally about 1 week or 2 weeks or maybe 1 month, but that's not too much of your time, and it's really involving your English and making it better, especially when you have a real teacher to help you. This trick isn't really necessary, obviously, but it's better than having someone who doesn't really know much, and then you're wasting your time with them and you just don't learn anything. But if you have a professional, somebody not professional because it's a language obviously, so you can't be a professional at it, but if you have somebody who has a good knowledge of that language, then you're able to learn better because now you have somebody to actually come off your opinions with. Because if you have nobody to come off your opinions with, then you don't really have a base for any of your opinions on anything, especially with the language genre. Don't just speak in English. Speaking in English is not the biggest deal of learning in any language, whether it be English, French, Hindi or any other language. Because there are four main parts to learn any language: listening, speaking, writing and reading. So if you only just listen and speak, then it won't do anything because you also need to write and read. Whether you only speak in English, only listen to English, write English or read English, only doing one of them is not going to help you at all, because you need all four of those components to help you memorize and learn English or any other language, to be honest. Because when you're learning any language, you need all parts of every single genre of that language, and there are mostly there are only four, like the ones I just said, and because of these you can easily learn and improve those genres, because with only having one skill developed and others just lacking off behind in the backs, and you don't really want that to happen, because speaking in English is great, but what if you have to write something in English? What if you have to read something in English? What if you can't really read something in English? What if you can't listen to something in English? What if you don't understand what it is? So you need to do this so that you're actually able to understand and do this language, or any language in particular. We're just talking about English here, but to be honest, in any language all these four components come in, as you need all these four components to create a full blown language that you can actually use, rather than having just one skill of that language and just nothing.